Okay. Okay, so tell us your name.
My name's Anne Brugenhemke.
So Anne, tell us a little bit about your piece in the show.
Sure. This is a pastel on paper piece, and the subject matter is actually real. It's representational. So I couldn't sleep one night, and as happens during a full moon for me, and probably a lot of other people. And so I woke up, it must have been, 3 a.m., and I looked out the huge windows that we have, and there was just there was a storm brewing, and so the clouds were moving rapidly, and it was just hypnotic. So I stood there for about 20 minutes just taking photos one after another, and I had dozens of them from this vantage point. And so then I just developed the film, and then I did a drawing of that many, many months later. It might have even been a year later, I don't even remember now. But and then I never felt like the piece was totally finished, so I just put it away. And then I got it back out a few months ago, and I embellished and I added a river where there was no river, and that really completed it for me because I have the reflection.
Yeah, kind of tied it, kind of brought it all.
Yeah, it just was all that it needed for me, and it's done on black paper, so it was a lot of this subtle blending of the pastel, which is one of the reasons I love it so much, is to just work that pastel with my fingers.
This is it's really fabulous, like the luminous, I don't know, what that you get through the clouds.
Thank you.
Really nice.
That was my favorite part of it too, was just kind of this area looked so much like it looked, and I thought it gave the feeling of that giant cloud. It was a series of clouds, but just the feeling of the presence of that cloud moving so quickly was really what I was trying to capture.
Like ominous, looks ominous.
Yeah, ominous and luminous. I like that. That's kind of that's what it felt like. Yeah.
So also, so your artwork as a whole, or like lately, what do you want to communicate to others? It's not really ever any specific thing for me, but for sure it's about communication. It's about just really showing something that I feel like is valuable or important to me at the time. This is what I'm thinking about. This is what I want to share. And oftentimes it has to do with the natural world for me. It usually is a kicking off point, but a lot of times it's a little bit more personal or relationship oriented, and sometimes I just use nature as a way to show that. To express that, Well, thanks for being part of the show.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Hi, so
can I look at you?
Yeah, you can look at me or Elizabeth. Tell us your name.
Okay, my name is Amber Schiltz.
Amber, tell us a little bit about your piece in the show.
My piece is called "You Are My Moon," and I painted it for a third birthday present for my son, who, when he turned 3, he was born on a full moon, and it's always been really special. And as soon as he was like 1 year old, he was like pointing the moon out to me. It was just like something that we used to connect to each other.
Yeah. Very nice. Yeah. Very sweet.
Yeah.
Do you do art regularly? Like, what do you like your art in general to communicate? Like, your creative.
Yeah. I usually use art as a way for myself, to connect back to myself and to the natural world, and to just kind of, come back, especially during stressful times. And so I like to create. I do watercolor, but a lot of like mixed media too. I love to do like paper mache, clay, and things like that as well. But I really like to think about the things that inspire me, which is the natural world. And I really like to think about the fact that we are nature. And anytime I'm an environmental educator in my career, so anytime I'm able to express myself or to help other people connect to the idea that we are nature, and there's so much beauty and abundance and awe available to us, I think that's why I do it. That's what I'm trying to express.
It's pretty fabulous. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it's really grounding.
Very grounding. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And are you from the area, or where you live now? Where are you?
born in Lincoln, but I've since lived all over the state. I worked in central Nebraska. I spent 3 years in Scottsbluff in the Panhandle. Amazing, beautiful, natural areas out there. That's where my son was born. That's where I painted this as well. But I'm back here in Lincoln now doing environmental education. So I'm all over the state, and there's so much the state has to offer to connect to the natural world.
Yeah, thank you, Amber.
Thank you so much.
So we'll try again. Tell us your name.
I'm Holly Tharnish.
And Holly, are you from Omaha?
Yes, from Omaha, born and raised.
Tell us a little bit about your piece in the show.
Yeah, so this piece is a watercolor painting, and it's inspired by sleepless nights when imagination bleeds into reality and stories just kind of swirl through my head.
I'm going to say again, I can appreciate this because as an artist who wants to just paint the stuff that's in my head, I have a hard time composing something that isn't actually in front of me. So I think that's pretty great. I hope I'm talking. What do you want your art to communicate to others, if anything, or lately, or...
Yeah, so a lot of the paintings I'm working on right now I think of as visual diaries, and so it's very similar to this. They're more surrealist and very much kind of like based on the things around me, but also all the things going on inside my head, and I mean from lived experience. And so I'm hoping people pull from the nostalgia and the objects that I'm including, but also that they can maybe connect to their own stories by telling mine.
Yeah, really like a universal.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you. Tell us your name.
My name is Melinda Montoya.
Melinda, thanks for being part of the show. Tell us a little bit about your piece.
I have a ceramic piece here on a big piece of wood, and on the back side there's a moon, so it's sort of transitional, but since this is a moon-themed show, we want the moon side to show. I've been working with a lot of functional ceramics, but not in like the functional ceramic way, like mugs or vases. Some ceramic forms with other functions, like this. It's functional in a different way other than like a mug or a vase. That's what I've been delving into.
Hanging and the mixed media with
Oh yeah.
That's really impressive. So what do you kind of want your artwork to communicate to others? Is there kind of a general thing you want to say?
Right now I've been leaning towards just visually right now, like swirls and organic shapes and nature-related items. I think this is kind of a stretch for nature-related, I suppose clouds are. And then I've also been looking at childhood and cookies that my mom did. She's here, but she has 3 kids. I'm the youngest, and she's sort of assigned. It's not nicknames, but just terms, I guess, to us. My brother is the sun, my sister is the moon, and I'm the star. And that's a lot of what this is. It's just outreaching to my childhood and making a thing to commemorate that.
Excellent.
Well, thanks. Great job. Thank you. Thank you. Great job too. To all. Thanks.
So tell us your name.
I'm Lisa Montoya.
Lisa, thanks for being part of the show. Tell us a little bit about your piece.
So I actually think of myself as a writer, and I do fantasy, and so doing dragons is something that fits right into the stories that I'm working on. And where I started doing more art is when I was a kindergarten teacher. I was doing picture books with my kids, and so we were practicing the pictures and making all the illustrations for our books. And so now that I actually want to try to publish some of my books, I am practicing my art skills so that I can maybe do that.
Excellent. So what you want your art to communicate kind of varies by the kind of book.
Yeah, it does.
Gotcha. Well, thank you. It's a lovely piece. Thanks again. Okay. So what is your name? Tell us your name first.
My name is Trinity Noblecameron.
And Trinity, thank you for being part of the show. Tell us a little bit about your piece.
So a lot of my work focuses on connection, and so this piece is representative of the solar eclipse that actually happened back in April. And it's just representative of the change that the moon typically symbolizes and the uniqueness that occurs during totality. All words gone from my brain.
All words, that's okay. It happens when
You had a brain eclipse.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Totality.
Yeah.
In general, what do you try to communicate with your art? Is it pretty consistent, or is it?
Well, I work with a lot of different mediums, be it painting or ceramics or bookbinding or whatever. And so there's some commonalities in my work that's typically focusing on connection with nature or self. And so with this one, it's obviously during if you've ever experienced totality, it's not this stark, but it's the same mesmerizing quality that kind of comes from that. So,
Excellent. Yeah. Thank you. That's great.